What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Real Reviews, your number one place on YouTube for the best reviews and reactions to your favorite shows, movies, music, and more. That's right. Alrighty, guys. Today I have a reluctant review, but I went ahead and did it anyway, guys. Today we're going to be going over 2019's The Nun, the spin-off kind of Conjuring, I guess sequel, if you will, about Valak, who was present in The Conjuring 2, directed by Mr. James Wan. The film stars, well, let me think. We got Demian Bichir, Taissa Farmiga, who is actually, I think, Vera Farmiga's daughter, and it shows because she looks like her in the film. And then we got also Jonas Bloquet. They play a French Canadian groundskeeper. We have a priest, and then we have a soon to be nun investigating a suicide at a monastery, or not a monastery, I believe it's a convent, yes, so where the nuns are stationed. There was a suicide, so they have to go and check it out. Yeah, I wasn't too excited to watch this film, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of The Conjuring. I was not a fan of La Llorona. I'm not a fan of Annabelle. I think they're very, very crappy movies. I mean, I don't know. They have like a pretty high budget for each of them. I mean, I know the budgets for all of them are like 20 million or something. And these are one of those films where, I mean, man, you could take that money and do something way better than release these garbage films. But anyway, I sat down and watched it, and I don't want to say pleasantly surprised, but I will say that it was not as bad as I anticipated it to be. I was ready to give it a F minus straight out the gate, and it actually managed to pull a solid C. So anyways, guys, let's get into it. The Nun, James Wan's 2018 horror film about a priest, a nun, and a French groundskeeper investigating a suicide at a convent. So spoiler friendly up front, and then breakdown and spoiler free obviously in the back. So spoiler friendly, it's no longer in theaters, but do your best to bootleg or watch this film for free. I mean, it's obviously not worth your money. There's going to be a ton of jump scares. There's going to be a ton of corny stuff. There's going to be a ton of stupidity. There's so much stuff that happens in the film that's like, why did that even happen? Like, the characters do some dumb stuff, and they do it repeatedly. You know, there's no common sense. There's no anything. It's just basically just jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. With some kills, actually, there are some kills in this movie, which was interesting. The nun can actually kill people. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Yeah, don't, it's on TV for free one day, check it out, but don't go out of your way to see it, I guess, because even the effects of the nun or any of this horror is really not worth checking out. Anyways, now to like the more breakdown of the film. I don't want to spend too long on this film because, once again, I'm not a fan of this directing style or these films in general. I mean, I wasn't even a fan of the original Conjuring. I know some people like those, but yeah, The Nun. It starts off okay. It starts off kind of strong. It starts off with the nun attacking these nuns in a convent and actually killing them. She kills all of them. So this Valak, the Defiler, is the name of the spirit who disguises itself as a nun. She goes ahead and kills all these people inside this convent. And it's you don't see it. They don't really show anything at first. They show the kills kind of later. But yeah, so the film opens with these two surviving nuns trying to trap the spirit in like this sacred like dungeon or something, and failing. So the only way for this nun to leave the monastery, or to leave the convent, is she has to possess somebody and use them as a vessel. So in order to prevent that from happening, the surviving nun kills herself, and then that's how the movie starts, as she commits suicide. So Valak is still stuck inside this convent, and she needs a human vessel to get out. And so what is the plot for the film? A nun and a priest sent from the Vatican go to investigate, guided by a groundskeeper. They are the three people that are going to be pursued and attacked by Valak to try to get them as a vessel. So that's the plot of the film. Not terrible. Nothing to do with The Conjuring. Nothing to do with Annabelle, no nothing. This is its own separate film set in like ancient Europe or Spain or something. So the setup, the plot is not terrible. The cinematography and location is not terrible. The characters are somewhat welcome. They're different. No more Warrens. No more. Who else? No more film teams or ghost hunters. None of that stuff. This is a completely separate film in a separate timeline. So that was appreciated, but it did not save the film as a whole. It did not. So they go into this convent. They are spoken to by this freaking zombie, and for some reason, none of them think it's weird. You know the you know what I'm saying? It's there's a lot of dumb stuff in here. So the groundskeeper who found the body, the groundskeeper of the convent, he actually took the body and he put it in the freezer. So I guess he didn't call the police or call the authorities or anything. I guess he just put the body in the freezer. So that's what happened. So that's the first jump scare of the movie. They go and to investigate the body, and the body is sitting upright in the freezer. Unnerving imagery, but underplayed by bad acting and bad setup up to that point. So they go in there, and this nun is sitting in there in the freezer, this corpse, and the guy's like, "Oh, I didn't leave it like that," but that's all they say, and then everybody goes up to it and touches it and stuff, and it like, I think its arm drops or something, and there's like a jump scare. But there's so much dumb shit like that. It's like, oh look, a body sat up in the freezer. Oh, wow, interesting. It's like shit like that. Then yeah, they go inside the house and they talk to the head mistress. There's only one nun in there, and she's a freaking zombie. They don't see her face. They don't see anything. They just assume that she's like a cloistered or like hidden nun or something. But yeah, she looks like a zombie, and nobody thinks that's weird. So yeah, they keep going, and they decide to spend the night in the building. Where there's dead bodies and zombie nuns and everything. They decide to just go upstairs like nothing and spend the night, and obviously they start getting attacked. It's that's pretty much, there's no really intelligence or story in the movie. It's designed strictly for fun, I guess, but it's not even that fun. So anyways, the groundskeeper gets attacked. He takes off. He runs off to a bar. I swear, he hides out in a bar for the entire movie. The priest gets buried, and the nun, or the wannabe nun that's with them, the soon-to-be nun, she's the only one that actually can kind of try to figure out what's going on, or actually trying to solve the problem. Everybody else is just kind of messing around, but she's the only one that is like, well, there may be something in here killing people. We might want to do something about that. But the other two, obviously are not grasping that concept yet. So anyways, there's not really even much to talk about. I mean, it's just random jump scares throughout the whole movie. The priest, every little pin or every sound he hears, he investigates. If he hears a voice from the other room whispering, "Come here so I can kill you," he'll go and investigate it. And so that's his whole thing. There's three main characters. So the one character is just going to every single room that he can, so that there can be a jump scare every 5 minutes. The female nun is kind of has this look on her face like she's investigating, trying to think of what's happening, blah, blah, blah. And the groundskeeper guy just takes off in the first 20 minutes. You never see him again. So that's it. I mean, it's just, the whole film is just the priest and the female nun character just running around this convent getting jump scared. I swear. And that's the entirety of the film. And that's it. I mean, I can list every jump scare if you'd like. There's a scene where the priest goes into a confessional and he gets jump scared. There's a scene where the nun looks in the mirror and she gets jump scared. There's a scene where the priest finds a book or something and he opens it and he gets jump scared. There's literally probably 50 jump scares in this movie. I would say even more so. If the movie has like an hour and a half runtime, I would say there's probably a jump scare every 5 minutes. So I would say maybe 50 is a good guess. But anyway, long story short, the meat of the movie actually occurs when they actually have to fight this thing, and that happens towards the end. So they actually have to fight this nun because she's physical. I mean, she can choke you and choke slam you and throw doors at you and shit. They use like some secret holy item, and I believe it's the blood of like a saint or something, and it's in like a little jar, and if they throw it at her, they burn her. So that's how they're finally able to kill her. Is after she's throwing around everybody, the groundskeeper comes back with a shotgun. He tries to shoot her and stuff. It doesn't work. So she takes him out. You know, he's in the film for probably 20 minutes. She takes him out. She takes the priest out, and then finally, obviously, it's between the good nun versus the bad nun. You know what I mean? And which was actually not terrible. The final fight scene is not too bad. If you haven't seen it, you know, you can look it up on YouTube. But yeah, so they have this super holy object that the priest pulls out of nowhere. You know, he probably should have pulled it out earlier in the film, but of course he just randomly pulls it out in the climax. You know, as he's like knocked out or whatever, like use this, you know, and it's like that. It literally happens like that. So the nun takes it and she throws it all over the bad nun, and the bad nun like melts like the witch of the like the witch from Wizard of Oz, and she's melting, she's screaming, and like the room is shaking. I mean, the CGI is terrible, and then she dies, and then they leave. And then they leave, you know, everybody shakes hands and they're like, you know, we did good work here, blah, blah, blah. They get in a carriage and they leave. And as they leave, oh, plot twist, you know, as the nun was strangling the gatekeeper, the groundskeeper guy, she possessed him. And then, oh, you know, fast forward to The Conjuring 1, where if you remember that scene where Vera Farmiga looks at that possessed guy and she like freaks out, and her husband's like, oh, I've never seen you scream like that before. That guy is the groundskeeper. So that's you know, big fucking twist. Like, nobody gives a shit about that and about this movie. So, but I did want to throw a review out there just because I saw it and I thought, you know what, might as well, because I know these movies are kind of popular. But yeah, it was just a crap fest throughout, man. It's a jump scare fest. I wonder if this movie holds a record for most jump scares. That probably would be something that would be interesting to look into, because man, there are a shitload of jump scares in this film. But anyway, yeah, that's it, guys. I just wanted to throw that one out there real quick. I do want to throw, my goal is to put like a bunch of videos on this channel. I want to have 100 videos, 100 reviews on this channel. That's what I want to have. So I'm going to keep pumping them out, keep putting them up here, and keep the train, or the, you know, real review thing rolling. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, guys, The Nun, have you seen it? What did you think? Did you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video? Make sure to like and leave those thoughts in the comments. Make sure to share and make sure to subscribe, and make sure to beware Valak the Defiler, because she will come and she will scare the shit out of you every 5 minutes. So you definitely don't want that, guys. All right, as always, have a good one. Peace.